But if I'm getting any shades of like FU Snyderverse in this, after Matrix Resurrections and now this, I'm just like, the drama of WB is so weird to me because it's so front and center with their films now.
Yeah.
You got Crimes of Grindelwald or whatever that follows. What's that one
The
called?
Secrets of Dumbledore.
Secrets of Dumbledore. Yeah, you have the Secrets of Dumbledore. The Matrix Resurrections was so apparent with their crap. And now you got the Flash movie and the Snyderverse. Like every movie studio, every film pretty much has drama that we just don't hear about. It's so freaking common. But it really seems like with Warner Brothers, their films are having so much bad press as a part of their movies that are coming out. And the only film I'm comfortable to say I'm looking forward to out of Warner Brothers is the God Batman. You know,
well,
because
that exists
they have
on an
nothing
island.
to do with any of this. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today to talk about what Twitter has been loving talking about over the weekend. What a way to kick off the new year. So many positive things.
Everyone's getting their wish.
Well, if the Flash movie didn't have enough problems getting started, it's creating more problems as it's already almost done. In case you haven't heard, many scoopers have been reporting on this. This really took off after Grace Randolph put out a tweet about it. She even went trending, but there's been a lot of the scoopers who have backed this report up. Basically, the headline of it all is the Flash movie to erase Superman, Batfleck, and the Snyderverse in total is how it's all going to go. But we got a lot of information to climb through here. As people who are big fans of the Snyder Cut, one of the best things I've seen all year around, as people who have been championing hashtag restore the Snyderverse, we definitely got some opinions. We want to go through all the facts. So we want to go through what Grace Randolph said, what Andy Muschietti said, what Ezra Miller said, and then of course some plot points that were leaked as well about this. So we're going to quickly dish out all the information because all that information is very important to this conversation. Of course, give our opinions afterwards. Here's a spoiler warning because it sounds like a lot of this is true. Okay, so let's kick off with Grace Randolph. The first thing she said, as I've told you with update, The Flash, Batfleck's final appearance, old footage of Cavill used on TV, new Justice League formed, Supergirl is new Superman, Keaton working with Black Canary picks Batgirl as new Batman. This is new DC. Let's be open-minded and give it a fair shot.
I can already hear the woke police.
Oh yeah. The Keaton, Black Canary, Batgirl stuff obviously happens in her movie, to clarify. Now, like I said, many people have already backed this claim. Folks like My Time to Shine Hello and many accurate leaks regarding Spider-Man No Way Home even put this tweet out. I don't usually tweet about DC stuff, but I have a friend who have seen The Flash, and the movie will erase every movie Snyder has done. Man of Steel, Batman v This hurts to read. Batman v Superman and Justice League never happened now. Erased from continuity, Affleck and Cavill are both gone. Now, in regards to what Andy Muschietti, the director, had to say, this movie is a bit of a hinge in the sense that it presents this stuff. What is
exactly
he again?
what he
sounds
like. He's Spanish.
Spanish, I forget what he is.
He's Italian now.
Yes. That presents a story that implies a unified universe where all the cinematic iterations that we've seen before are valid, Muschietti said. It's inclusive in the sense that it is saying that all you've seen exists and everything that you will see exists in the same unified multiverse. Okay, so it sounds like that's not an entire erasure.
It seems like it's just a license not to have to acknowledge it anymore moving forward.
Yeah, right.
It still exists, so we're just not going to talk about it.
And then, of course, Ezra Miller, he was asked about this, who has actively been involved in the creative process for this movie. It was also cast by Zack Snyder originally. And someone asked him on his Instagram, I believe, fans are going crazy thinking this movie is erasing Zack's movies. They don't see the potential this movie will bring. Then Ezra said, as he was choking someone, no power or force in any known megaverse would or could ever erase Zack Snyder's mighty works. You can take that quote. Take that to the bank, to the press, to the schools, to the military, and the other pillar of capitalism I'm forgetting because of that thing where if you try to think of a group of things, you always forget one of them.
Classic Miller answer.
Classic Miller answer. Like an answer without an answer, really.
No, that's the stage of marketing, is all about the non-answer.
Yeah, he spent most of that talking about how you could take this quote and then made a bunch of references to pillars of capitalism.
He made a quote you're not going to want to take because it's going to be a nightmare to make it make sense.
Okay, so the question is, does this or does this not not erase the Snyderverse. And from what I can gather, a little bit of both. Yes and no. What Flash Film News said on Twitter was some fans have taken this as debunking yesterday's reports, and that wasn't our intent. The rumors are true. And I really trust Flash Film News. They've probably been the most reliable when it comes to anything. They're called Flash Film News for a reason, and it's their job to be as reliable as possible when it comes to this stuff. We'll establish a new DCE universe. However, this new continuity will preserve the world that Snyder built. What I'm trying to understand here, because then Paul from Heavy Spoilers, the greatest fraud in the world, said, sounds like it's basically going to be a Crisis on Infinite Earths Flashpoint New 52 situation, where some stuff is dropped whilst other elements are kept to form a new kind of DCEU. And I think that is the most optimistic summary you can have about this situation.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what comes in part and parcel with these multiverses, is that opportunity to go, what worked that people definitely want to see kept, and then what can we, fix?
Snyderverse in particular is a fandom, and the movies as a whole, the praise and love and adoration for them seems to have grown over time. I think right away for a lot of people, it wasn't an instant like for them.
Yeah.
Myself included, especially when it came to BVS in particular. I mean, you guys know how we feel about it by that point. For me personally, I think like allowing Batfleck to move on, that makes sense because Ben Affleck just worries me as a human being.
Yeah, he does not look all right.
It seems like he can very emotionally be triggered, and I just want him to be okay, and he's made it pretty clear that he does not want to continue on in franchise properties, you know what I mean? With that in mind, like the way he's talked about the Flash, it seemed like, yeah, I just want to move on, and this was my way of saying bye to Batman officially. Like, let's just make it clear, this is me saying bye. The part that seems like the most upsetting is Superman being removed. Like I feel like a lot of us have been wanting that follow-up to Man of Steel. It seems like he's earned it, and it doesn't sound like they're gonna give Henry Cavill a chance to even say bye based off of everything that's been being reported on or leaked. They're at least giving Ben Affleck a chance to say bye, but it doesn't even sound like they're giving Henry Cavill a chance to say bye.
Yeah, you never know. That Shazam 2 cameo could still happen.
Yeah, you never know, man.
That's the send-off we'd want.
And then with Henry Cavill's like popularity really growing as of late, not just in regards to the Snyderverse fandom, but like the work that he's been doing on Witcher, I think it would be really silly. It's really silly. It's quite upsetting, the idea of especially him being the one to be removed. My faith in Warner Brothers restoring the Snyderverse has slowly gone down over the months. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't believe it's going to happen. I will of course support the possibility of it happening. If it ever goes trending, I'm of course retweeting it. If you ask me, do I want it to happen? Absolutely. Do I believe Warner Brothers is going to give in and do it? No, I don't.
They want to get as far away from that as they can.
Right. So the DC fandom, funny enough, that's a little event. It's created quite a divide. Like there are people like us who are in this weird dichotomy, Snyderverse all the way. And I was excited for this Flash movie, and I'm still very intrigued to find out how this all plays out. I really want to know what's going to happen. How are they going to execute this? Can they execute this in a way? Like, I know there's going to be fans right away of the Snyderverse who are instantly going to write this off, not be open-minded. Even if they try to be, they just won't be able to be. There's going to be those people out there. There's going to be people like us who are like, well, let's just find out. Let's see. Maybe we can get on. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Maybe.
Each time they roll the dice, some parts are good and some parts are not so good. So you never know.
Well, it's funny because when you look at what Spider-Man has done, spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home, sort of. When you look at what they've done, a big part of what's been great about how they brought back a couple of people, it's allowed for a semblance of closure. But it's also kind of reflective of what happened with the Snyder fan base and how they want another Andrew Garfield movie to happen, because like you give them something, now they want more, right?
Yeah.
And
at least the Ayer cut.
And hey, I'm part of that too. I want the Ayer cut. I want the Amazing Spider-Man 3, and I want them to restore the Snyderverse. What I think though, what Marvel has done is they've done a great job at establishing multiverse to the point where it's like, well, I can totally see how we can keep the Tom Holland franchise alive and do an Andrew Garfield one. And I think they're a prime example of how we can have that coexist. And you think that with doing this multiverse Flash movie, that they can create a scenario where both can exist and not feel like, hey, this timeline's not erased, but we're definitely not diving into it anymore.
See it again.
Despite the fact that there are a lot of you who really want that to continue.
And despite the fact that we're building this new arm on parts of that old one that are going to automatically remind the people who were there for that of those movies.
It's like we're always going to have that feeling of something is not complete, something is incomplete, and it seems like there's going to just be this constant stain in the DC universe that we won't able to be able to truly move past for such a long time.
Yeah, and this solution also to me feels very similar to what they tried to do with Justice League, where it's like, oh, Marvel's having all this success with the multiverse, and yes, this Flash movie has been in the works for a little while. They've, obviously caught on to the multiverse stories in the zeitgeist, but it feels like another attempt to basically catch up without actually doing the foundational work. And, like all new characters leading the Justice League aside, it seems like this is another sort of finicky move from the Warner Brothers DC camp. It doesn't feel like a confident new direction based on some mistakes made before. It feels like, we got to rework this, and multiverses are in, so we can use that as our in to getting what we want, but it doesn't sound very finessed at the moment.
At the moment, it doesn't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we'll see. You just got to watch it and then judge it afterwards. But it's unfortunate because you got this new lineup of a Justice League that's supposed to be formed. Now, David F. Sandberg, he's been out there being like, I actually haven't heard anything about Shazam being in the new Justice League. The idea, it sounds like, is that the new Batgirl is supposed to be the replacement for the new Batman, and like Michael Keaton's going to hand off the baton to her. Yeah. And then that makes me go, why are you debuting her solo? I don't remember if it's a show or movie now, but why are you debuting her on HBO Max? Justice League is cinema. You should be more confident. And it's like a lot of people go, it's because you're trying to drive users to the service. I get that, but especially with the way HBO Max is, it just feels like a downgrade. If you're going to debut this massive character who's supposed to be the replacement for Batman on this small screen.
It feels like another ploy to get people to sign up because, I don't know, that's the biggest thing we hear about these days is, Disney didn't get the numbers they want. HBO doesn't get the numbers they want. And what, generates the content is subscriptions.
And then you have also with the new Supergirl, and it just seems like they're not being allowed the proper opportunity to be introduced to form the new Justice League. There's already so much baggage happening and already so much criticism going their way that I don't feel like they're going to be given a fair shot to be introduced as the new Justice League. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's just unfair to them as actors and characters.
It's cast an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
especially in light of the public defense and outcry and everything surrounding the Snyderverse.
And it's not even feeling like much of a Flash-focused movie at this point, which is the weirdest part.
No,
even the trailer felt like a Flash-focused movie.
It feels like a big apparatus to get their universe back on track that happens to feature the Flash prominently.
As always, I say wait to find out. However, where do I stand now with this? It sounds like shit.
Skeptical for sure.
And what really sucks about all this is not when we say Snyderverse, it's not only encompassing erasing BVS, Man of Steel, and events of Wonder Woman, it sounds like too. I believe it's also supposed to be erasing the events of Suicide Squad. David Ayers, I can kind of understand, even though I want the Ayer cut, which I'm sure would be a very different response from me. But James Gunn's The Suicide Squad I thought was brilliant, and the fact of how much they've also been like, James Gunn, yeah, we're going to be working with him more in the future. Like, how does James Gunn feel about this?
Yeah.
How does Margot Robbie feel about this? And she's been such a staple for the DCEU as well.
To one of their most successful parts.
Her character alone and her interpretation has been instantly iconic. Are you erasing her now? Like, what exactly is this gonna? So it's they'll be keeping some and not keeping others, because it's like that's the whole thing when you rewrite a timeline is other things can be kept while others are messed with. I get that. They have another Aquaman movie coming out, so they got to have some idea of what they're doing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm open-minded. There are things I'm absolutely looking forward to with this film. I like the teaser trailer did excite me. There's no bullshitting that. The teaser trailer excited the hell out of me. I'm excited to see Michael Keaton again. But if I'm getting any shades of like F.U. Snyderverse in this, after Matrix Resurrections and now this, just like the drama of WB is so weird to me because it's so front and center with their films now.
Yeah.
You got Crimes of Grindelwald or whatever that follows. What's that one
The
called?
Secrets of Dumbledore.
Secrets of Dumbledore, yeah. You have The Secrets of Dumbledore. The Matrix Resurrections was so apparent with their crap. And now you got the Flash movie and the Snyderverse. Like, every movie studio, every film pretty much has drama that we just don't hear about. It's so freaking common. But it really seems like with Warner Brothers, their films are having so much bad press as a part of their movies that are coming out. And the only film I'm comfortable to say I'm looking forward to out of Warner Brothers is the goddamn Batman. Because
that exists
they have
on an
nothing
island.
to do with any of this.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but Matt Reeves is just such a confident and assured filmmaker, and I think, that movie just has the luxury of existing in a pocket. Yeah, unless you're a solo Batman property, it's going to be choppy water, because I think they're just not good at putting out a version or a vision of these movies, their plan, that actually feels like a confident plan.
Erase is probably not the right word.
Just
Rewrite.
Shoving it over there to collect dust forever.
Yeah, retooling until 10 years from now, some filmmaker comes out of the woodwork and goes, we're going to bring back the Snyderverse.
Yeah, we're going to make a sequel directly to Zack Snyder's Justice League and ignore all these other installments.
All right, guys, what do you think about this news? Had a lot of thoughts about this. I know we're pretty late to it, but leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click that bell, hit that like button. We will catch you guys soon.